Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, hello there, welcome to the channel. My name is Michelle and I hope that you're going to enjoy all the content that is on this channel and that is more to come. And if you're a regular and an oldie, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed yet. So you want to be an influencer and it's about to get messy because we are talking all things influencing. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say that I need everybody to acknowledge that influencing is no longer a hobby but a business. Influencing has literally opened up. It's literally become its own industry right now, and it is a business. It's no longer a hobby. It's no longer just getting a cell phone, taking pictures and looking pretty on social media. No, it's literally taking money to invest in a good quality phone. Yes, I said investment because then that helps you make more money. To invest in a good camera, for instance, if you're a content creator. To invest in clothing, hair, whatever the case that is going to make you look presentable so you can actually attract the brands that you want to work with. It is a business, my darlings. And on today's video, we are going to be talking about why it is a business, how it is a business, and how you can actually set yourself up as that business, especially if you are wanting to be an influencer. So let's actually get into the word influencer, because I have spoken to a lot of people about this and there's been a lot of miscommunication or connotations to the word, or some people saying they don't want to be referred to as influencers because of what people think influencers actually is. They want to be referred to as content creators because there's this assumption that influencers don't work hard enough and that doesn't matter, okay? But I want to get into what the word influencer actually means. And when I was thinking about this, I thought to myself, influencer actually comes from the word influencing. And I looked up what the word influencing actually means. Or rather, influencer to start with. An influencer in the context of this video is basically someone's ability to influence, right? So influencing comes from the word influence. So now we have to look at what does the word influence actually mean. And I looked into the dictionary, the Oxford Dictionary, and it says that according to Oxford Dictionary, it is defined as the capacity to have an effect on someone's character, development, or behavior of someone. It can also be defined as impact. So this is basically the capacity to have an effect on someone's character, development, or behavior. So what you basically want to do is you want to make people make certain decisions if you are wanting to get into an influencing space, or you want to be an influencer or content creator for brands or whatever the case is. But along those routes, that is what you are trying to get. And I thought to myself, is it not so interesting that in the olden age, or not necessarily olden age actually, but like a few years ago, those people would have been celebrities and people would obviously seen in mainstream media. And now the industry has been so wide open because we want to support and we want to buy from people that are reliable, that look like us, that live in probably the same areas as us, and that we can actually relate to. So therefore it's opened up the industry for you and I and the next person to actually become an influencer. And is there anything wrong with that? Absolutely not, because the industry is open for anyone. So I have noted down 4 questions that I would like you to actually ask yourself, and I think these 4 questions you need to take as steps that are going to help you set yourself up as a business, or if you want to be in the influencing business or you want to be an influencer. So I want you to know that I have literally, the terminology that we're going to be using in this video is basically under the assumption that you wanting to be an influencer or you wanting to grow. I feel like the more I use the word influencer, like people are just going to be like, yeah, I want to be an influencer, because the whole connotation that people have placed on the word. And if you're watching this video right now, I just want you to let that go, okay? If you are an influencer, you want to get into the influencing industry, I need you to realize that you are equally as a business person, as somebody that is trying to build a business, selling a product or selling a service. You are basically selling yourself. You are basically the product or the service, whatever it is that you identify yourself. So don't be so worried or stressed about the connotation or what people think influencers are. If you haven't watched the previous video that I did on influencing or influencers, definitely go do that. I think it will give you a huge peace of mind. So I noted down these 4 questions and I think that they're going to be super helpful for you. And if you're somebody that notes down things and whatever the case is, write things down and actually fill them in according to your brand and what it is that you're trying to achieve, because I think they're going to be helpful in terms of helping you actually set up your business. Now, before I get into these 4 questions, I also want to mention that, like I said earlier, if you're wanting to get into the influencer space, or for instance start a YouTube channel, or just get into a space where you can influence people to make a particular decision or change their lives or impact people's lives, guys in any certain way, you need to realize that in this day and age, it is important to start treating yourself as a business. So for instance, if I am creating YouTube content right now, I'm sitting and I've got a camera and I've got lights and I've got a background, I literally treat this as a business. Me buying a camera, me buying lights, me buying this setting behind me is basically a business investment that I have to put in. So whenever I get paid from like my YouTube ads or whatever brands that I work with, I literally have to take that money back into that business to make sure that I enhance my experience. This means that I have to obviously take care of how I look. I might not look like a beauty influencer or whatever the case is, but I have to make sure that I always look clean. I have to make sure that, you know, I look presentable and and not because I just like nice things and I like to be pretty or whatever the case is. And that goes for the next influencer. It's not because they just like to be pretty or they just like to look cute. It's because they have to actually take care of themselves so that they can rock up at these platforms and you guys can follow and engage and because it is a business, okay? It's the nature of the business. It is just show business. That is something super important to remember. So every time we mention business in this video, just know that that's exactly what we're talking about, okay? So the first step / question that I want you to ask yourself is, what do you offer? Okay, this is important. The reason why a lot of people have spoken a lot about how there's too many people in the influencer game and how everybody wants to be an influencer, it's because they have been exposed to the same type of influencer. Whenever they log onto YouTube or whatever it is, they see maybe beauty influencers only or whatever the case is, and they don't realize that this is an industry that is so wide open that you can literally create your own niche. You can be an influencer on plants, literally, like review plants, teach people about plants. You can be an influencer and book reviews. You can be an influencer on art. You can be an influencer on lighting. You can be an influencer on cameras, on gaming, on books. You can be an influencer on absolutely anything. And I need you to ask yourself right now, what do you offer? And if you want to influence or impact or build a social following or whatever the case is, the first and the biggest thing to start asking yourself right now is, what do I offer? What do I really have to offer? What makes me different? If I have to describe myself as this type of person or as someone that makes an impact around this area or this industry, what would that actually be? And this goes hand in hand like any other business. You can't just wake up and say, I'm going to start a business. A business of what? What are you doing in your business? What do you offer? What do you sell? What do you want people to buy? What are people actually buying from you? That's a big question you need to ask yourself. So it is important to actually sit down with yourself and iron out what it is that you actually offer as an influencer / as an actual business. And the second question to actually ask yourself is, who are you offering it to? So if you have probably started a business before, you've got a side hustle, or probably work for a certain company, you know that the first thing is what the company actually offers or what the company actually does, and then it's who they offer it to. So for instance, if you are doing like hair reviews or whatever it is on wigs and whatnot, right? You probably are offering that service to people that wear hair. It could be men, whatever the case is. It's literally for people that wear hair and people that are interested in it. Things like makeup, things like cars, things like plants, right? Who are you offering it to? Who do you want to speak to? That is important to actually notice. You realize like now there's all these like women empowerment organizations and companies or magazines or whatever the case is. Your success in your business as an influencer, as a brand, as somebody that wants to make an impact will be highly determined on you being able to actually be so clear on who you are actually offering whatever service that you're offering or whatever it is that you're offering to them. Because only then you are clear on that does it become so much easier for you to begin to alter your services and alter your communication style and alter your messaging to that person so you can actually reach them. So that is super important to actually realize. And then the third thing that you need to ask yourself that I noted here is, where are you speaking to these people? So let's just do a little recap. The first one is, what do you offer? The second one is, who do you offer it to? And then the third one is, where are you speaking to this person, right? What you need to understand is that not everyone is on Twitter, not everyone is on Instagram, not everyone is on Facebook. And as much as everybody has an account in all these social media platforms, they all are not on all of the social media at the same time. So what you need to ask yourself is, once you've figured out who it is that you want to offer that service, you need to then ask yourself, where do they hang out, right? If you're going to be selling gum, for instance, and you think, okay, cool, maybe I'm looking for people that are very busy, people that are on the go. People that are busy on the go are not going to be on Instagram. They're not going to be on Twitter. Where are you going to find them? Maybe at taxi ranks, maybe at the robots, maybe at like supermarkets, whatever the case is. But you need to be able to kind of decipher and find out where are those people. If you're looking at like beauty, for instance, right, and you want to be a beauty influencer, chances are the people that you're looking for on Instagram, because those people are more visual. They want to see things, you know, they want to see the experience, they want to see pretty faces and da. If you are looking to impact more people in terms of conversations, maybe a little bit more on Twitter. But once you figure out who your audience is and who you actually are offering that service or whatever it is that you're offering to, it is important to actually do some research and find out where those people actually hang out, because that will actually help you decide which social media channel to actually focus on. Because the honest truth is, guys, you will not be able, especially if you're like a solo entrepreneur, you will not be able to focus on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube all at the same time, Snapchat and all these other ones all at the same time. It actually is impossible, especially if you have a job, or even if you don't. It's just very possible to focus on all these social media channels as a solo entrepreneur. So you need to actually be able to start with one or two that you know that your audience are there most. It is pointless for you to go and start tweeting about beauty on Twitter when you're trying to eventually sell us products, because we can't see them, we can't experience them. So you're basically just wasting your time and energy. So you need to be able to decide, and more than anything, research and find out where those people actually hang out. And then the fourth and last question that is super important, I think this has turned my several businesses that I've done around, which is, what's your investment? That is a big one, because I think half the time we think that just having a brilliant idea in business is all that we need, and then it's just upwards from there, and we're going to run these successful businesses and we're going to do A, B, C, D, and it doesn't work like that. You need to actually be willing to invest something in the business. And by that question, what I want you to think about is not only the financial aspect of it. I do think that the financial aspect of it is definitely impacted, and you will be required to make a certain level of an investment into whatever it is that you want to do financially. Sometimes as time goes, sometimes immediately, whatever the case is, it differs for a lot of people. But look at things like time. Are you willing to invest your time in this particular business? And investing your time means that sometimes you basically have to allocate hours to film content that you only need 10 minutes of, that you only need a TikTok 15 seconds of. Are you willing to invest that time? And then you look at resources. What do you have around you that you're willing to invest? Is it the cell phone that you already have? Is it the ring lights that you already have? Whatever it is around you, you need to be able to ask yourself, how can I actually maximize this and use this towards me building this big brand and this big business that I so desire? And financially as well, do you have to maybe stop eating a couple of takeaways so you can save money to eventually buy yourself a camera, so you can save money to eventually buy yourself some lights, so you can save money to eventually buy yourself a setting, a backdrop, a background, or the right makeup, or the right wigs, or whatever the case is. But what is your investment? And that is something to actually remember. I will do another video kind of breaking down the different types of investments that you can make, especially if you want to start a business. But predominantly right now, what you can actually do is start looking at the immediate things that you need. And need is the answer to this. It's not the immediate things that you want, it's the immediate things that you need. You don't need a MacBook to edit your videos. You probably just need a laptop currently, or relatively a cell phone that is actually working and that is a bit more faster, right? Look at the things that you need. What do you need right now? If you are in a niche that you have to look super presentable, you don't necessarily need the most expensive wig, the hair that costs 10,000 Rand. You don't need that. You just need to look presentable. So how can you look presentable with the current investment that you have? Because I think sometimes when we say investment, people have this idea that it's this big like thing. You have to get millions so you can start this business or whatever the case is, but it is not like that at all. You can start wherever you are. You can start with what you have currently, as long as you are willing to maximize the resources that you have and the finances that are at your disposal at the moment. I have filmed a lot of videos actually talking about how to start a YouTube channel, because I think it was so much easier for me then. I think this was 2 years ago, because I was starting one. I was going through my journey where I've said this a lot, that majority of the videos on my channel over the years have been through my cell phone. I only got a camera last year to actually start filming content. So that is something important to remember, that you don't always need the latest and the greatest equipment that's available. You literally can use whatever you have, just as long as you show up consistently. And I think you answer these 4 questions with intentionality, and then start carving out a strategy on how you can then begin to actually speak to your audience, to actually move forward in a way that will be able to grow your business. And my last closing point regarding this is, I need you to understand that it is so much easier to want to possibly compare yourself to like your Kay Yarms, your Mishali, and maybe the big influencers that you probably look up to, like your Patricia Bright, your Catherine Mannings, whatever the case is. But what you need to realize is that these people put in the years and they put in the hours and they have put in the investment. For them to get to a point where they are using a 5D right now, they have started somewhere. They started with their phones, they started gradually, and it is unfair to give yourself pressure to want to compare yourself so that you start where they are right now, because not many people get that opportunity to actually start at that point of, you know, being the high-end influencer or having the high-end equipment. And those people have put in the hours. Those people have really niched down to what it is that they want to do. One of the things I normally advise people to do if you are a creator and you are feeling uninspired, or you possibly feeling like you're not where others are, I always ask people to actually go to your favorite influencer and go watch their very first video on their channel. That always makes me feel that there is always progress and I can always get better all the time. And I don't need to be ashamed of my progress right now because that person has moved forward and that person is doing so much better. But I can always take my journey, honor my progress, and actually accept the fact that this is where I am and I'm going to be better. I'm going to be great. I'm going to move forward. But right now I can only take this and run with it, and run with it so well that I actually succeed. So that is something that I just want to leave you with in this video. And I hope that these 4 questions are going to be helpful to you, and that you're actually going to take them as steps that are helpful in terms of helping you carve out the business that you want. And also realizing that it is not overnight success. You know, you can go viral today and be irrelevant tomorrow. You have to think the long game, and you have to really think these 4 questions through in terms of helping you actually pick yourself up and start that business and the influencing game. So I really hope that this video was impactful to you. If it was, please do let me know in the comment section below, and give me a thumbs up and let me know what are the things that you've been meaning to create. Also let me know what other content you would like me to bring onto this channel. I have been super grateful for all the support and your comments onto this channel. It's just been so much fuel for me in terms of just being able to create and give you guys more value. So thank you so much for that. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Have yourself, I'm literally biting myself. Have yourself a beautiful one, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.